Here in Ellicott City, this is an exciting milestone. Our goal since adopting the Ellicott City Safe and Sound Plan has been to keep our residents and visitors safe, reduce the amount and velocity of floodwater in historic Ellicott City, and preserve the historic nature of our town. Our team has worked tirelessly to move projects forward as quickly as possible. In August, we broke ground on the first of our Safe and Sound projects, the H7 Dry Flood Mitigation Pond, a partnership between Howard County and the state of Maryland. The H7 pond will reduce the amount of water that runs off the site by more than 30% in a 100-year storm, keeping more water from flowing to historic Ellicott City during a severe weather event. On October 1st, we filed our application for an up to $75 million loan from the Environmental Protection Agency. Howard County is just one of 55 organizations nationally that were selected by the EPA to apply for that loan. If awarded, the loan from the EPA will provide critical funding for the extended North Tunnel and other important Ellicott City flood mitigation projects. And on October 7th, we received approval from our Historic Preservation Commission for the renovation of 6 county-owned buildings on Main Street. These renovations include the removal of the rear portions of these 6 buildings, easing the constrictions above the stream channel in Ellicott City. We expect to begin this renovation work early next year, and then today. Thanks to many of our partners, we're pleased to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Quaker Mill Flood Mitigation Pond. The Quaker Mill Pond is the second of 7 retention and conveyance projects we've broken ground on just this year alone to mitigate flooding under our Ellicott City Safe and Sound Plan. The retention projects are designed to hold water away from historic Ellicott City and release it slowly once the danger has passed. The conveyance projects are designed to ensure water that is not retained is conveyed to the river as safely as possible. We anticipate the construction of the Quaker Mill Flood Pond taking, weather dependent, approximately 15 months. Once complete, this project will provide approximately 10 acre-feet of storage, which is equivalent of nearly 3.3 million gallons of water. The pond will reduce peak flow rates for the 100-year storm by 30%, directing runoff into the pond and stabilizing the stream and roadway embankment. In October, the state's Board of Public Works approved a $2.1 million grant for the pond from the Maryland Department of the Environment's Comprehensive Flood Mitigation Grant Program on an expedited timeline. This grant and its approval by the Board of Public Works made today possible, breaking ground on this project before the end of 2021. I'm grateful for the support of the Governor, Secretary Grumbles, and the members of the State Board of Public Works, having provided for this and other Ellicott City Safe and Sound projects. I would also like to personally and publicly thank Senator Katie Fry Hester, Delegate Courtney Watson, Senator Guy Gazzoni, and our entire state delegation for their advocacy and dedication in securing this funding for Ellicott City projects each and every year. Since December of 2018, we've secured nearly $60 million in total for our Safe and Sound Plan and related flood mitigation projects in Ellicott City, with nearly $30 million coming from county sources. Our state delegation has played a crucial role in supporting our efforts, providing more than $20 million in Ellicott City for projects including over $2 million for the Quaker Mill flood mitigation pond. I'm excited about this progress, and I look forward to celebrating many more groundbreakings in the months to come. And as always, we will continue to work closely with our community, our partners at every level of government, our residents and businesses to make sure Ellicott City is safe and sound for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here today. I'd like to thank the county executive and his team for moving forward with the implementation of the Safe and Sound Plan. I also want to thank my state colleagues for helping to secure the over $20 million that has gone to finance this project and many of the other ones. This retention pond is not your average infrastructure project. It's part of a comprehensive solution to save a historic mill town from the impacts of severe flooding and climate change. This town will celebrate its 250th birthday next year, and it's composed of the most resilient people I know. Individuals, small business owners, entrepreneurs, families who call this place home, and they've survived multiple floods, a global pandemic, and are coming back stronger than ever. Breaking ground on this Quaker Mill pond today, we are one step closer to being more resilient, more safe and sound. However, the flooding in Ellicott City highlights a problem that is not unique to the state of Maryland. As a coastal state on the Chesapeake Bay, there's flooding in almost every jurisdiction, leading to increased insurance rates and, of course, property damage for individual owners. Fixing these issues, as we've seen here in Ellicott City, takes time, dedication, and possibly infrastructure money. To address this gap in financing, early last year, we passed Senate Bill 901, creating the Resilient Maryland Revolving Loan Fund. This fund will provide lower no-interest loans to counties, municipalities, and nonprofits for local resilience projects like the one we're starting today. It includes $25 million of state capital, which can leverage an additional $225 million from the Federal Storm Act. Very soon, local jurisdictions, just like Ellicott City, will be able to use these loans as a state match for whatever they want to do. For example, a small municipality can take out a no-interest loan for $5 million. They can use this as collateral to apply for a federal grant called the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Grant to complete a $20 million capital project. That would be $5 million from the Resilient Maryland Revolving Loan Fund and $15 million from BRIC for a total of $20 million capital project. And that is a 40-time return on the original investment the state has made. I want to particularly thank Delegate Watson for her steadfast leadership in the House of Delegates to ensure that this bill passed multiple hurdles. I also want to thank our Treasurer, Nancy Kopp, who believed in my vision for this bill, and for leadership in both the Appropriations Committee and the Senate Budget and Tax Committee, which Senator Gazzoni chairs. So we at the state have been thinking about the big picture of resilience and how to help jurisdictions across the state fortify themselves. However, it's based on what we learned here in Ellicott City and the Safe and Sound Plan as a leading example of what can be achieved by working at the local and state level. Ellicott City is the birthplace of many firsts. It's the first railroad station, the first national road, the first state park, and soon we will be the first mill town to rebuild itself as a model for climate resilience. In closing, I'd like to thank the county executive and his team for their incredible work. And I'd like to invite everybody watching at home to come visit Ellicott City. This Friday, we welcome in the holidays with our menorah lighting, our tree lighting, and Midnight Madness. So come to Ellicott City, shop small, shop local, and have the time of your life. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I don't know what else I can add to Senator Hester's very accurate and enthusiastic description of how we are going to solve climate resiliency problems in the state of Maryland with the fund that she created on the state level. And I am so pleased to be here because it's not just someone who thinks of the bill to make sure that we have funding, to make sure that we work with the federal government, but it's each and every one of the people that are here today, particularly our county public works people who who build these projects make sure they come in on time and under budget most of the time. And it's our county executive who has given us tremendous commitment to our town of Ellicott City, 250 years old. And it's so exciting to me to think about previous generations, men and women, walking the town of Ellicott City, not knowing in 100 years that the town would be devastated by 2 tremendous floods, but that there would be people here on the ground that were going to make sure that Ellicott City is safe and remains here for another 250 years. So thank you to everyone who's been a part of this. I'm just very excited to see our hard work starting to pay off for the town of Ellicott City.
Today is another momentous occasion for the Ellicott City Safe and Sound projects and historic Ellicott City. In breaking ground today for the second project towards the protection of the town, it is showing the continual progress in measures being taken to preserve the heritage and the economy of Old Ellicott City. We continue to thank the local and state officials for their hard work and dedication in obtaining and allocating funds for these much-needed projects. Measures that are being taken through the emergency sound system, the H7 pond, and now the Quaker Mill mitigation pond are a spotlight of disaster resilience. Every time the ECP is asked about the state of Old Ellicott City, the floods have been a reminder of what has been lost. Projects like these are helping us move away from the idea that OEC will flood again, but rather understand change is taking place. We can create a sense of security for all of our stakeholders, whether they are residents, businesses, or visitors who are coming to be a part of the thriving community. So now, as we move in a positive direction, we can continue to relay the outputs of the mitigation plans and continue to say that Old Ellicott City is open for business. So come and enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And now I'd like to open it up to any questions from the media.
Yeah, I was wondering if anyone could address, obviously 3.3 million gallons of water is certainly nothing to sneeze at, but these floods had many, many more. Can you talk about how this fits in the grand picture with the other projects in terms of mitigating that number should another 1 in 1,000 year flood come? So I'll start off, and I may phone a friend over in the DPW section. Of course, we have a significant amount of work to do. We had the 2011, 2016, and 2018 floods remind us of how much work needs to be done and that our storms are getting more frequent and more intense. We have 7 significant projects in the pipeline. We've broken ground now on 2. These 2 will make a difference, but our work is not yet done. And that's why the continued partnership with our state, federal, and private partners will help ensure that in the future Ellicott City is safe and sound. Any other questions from the media? All right, let's go ahead and break some ground. Try to keep it mostly in the box. All right, 1, 2, 3. And one more try there.